AI, it's everywhere. It's taking over our lives. And I think it's ruining our ability to think deeply. Nowadays, when we want to know something, we don't have to think. We can just ask AI to do it. For example, at university, a lot of students don't even do their assignments anymore. They get AI to do it or do all the steps up to it, and they just polish it off. In my own life, I can see how AI is affecting my ability to think. I used to be able to think really deeply about stuff and make good decisions. But nowadays, I find myself asking AI, and then you ask AI, are you sure? And it gives you a different answer. And you're just stuck second guessing yourself. But more so than these examples, what I find is that previously I was able to think. I was able to think deeply. I was able to journal. But after I've been using AI, and I think it's, for example, if I use it at work, if I use AI to write a document for me, an email for me, because I'm so used to doing this and cognitively offloading this task, that when I do actually go to use my brain, it doesn't work. It doesn't want to function. My brain is stuck in this cycle of, if anything that needs effort, I don't do it. AI can do it for me. And this makes sense. AI is extremely quick. It's extremely easy to use, and it does what seems like a good job. You know, it's like, it just seems great. So why wouldn't you use it? But for something that you need to think deeply, this can be a problem. And I wonder, how much does your AI use in other aspects of your life, such as work or university? How does it come on to things such as journaling and trying to think about your life? I think a lot of people nowadays are stuck and they don't know what they're doing with life, and they're lost, especially if you're 20 to 30s and you're maybe even a male. I think men especially are very stuck nowadays. And I think while there's a lot of factors, I think AI and your phone in general takes away your ability to think. I think AI makes you dumber, as you could say. I'm sure you can see this in your own life. I think if you look back a couple of years before ChatGPT was such a big thing in your life, your ability to think was probably good. You could probably have deep thought and your attention span was great. But nowadays, anytime something that you need to think about deeply comes up, such as your future or what you're doing with your life, it just seems like it's a blur. The mental clarity isn't there anymore. And you might look at yourself and think, like, what's caused this? Am I a bad person? Am I doing something wrong? But I think AI and these devices are just taking over our mind and making us dumber. I definitely feel dumber from using AI and devices. I don't like it. I don't think you do either. And I think the only way to fix this problem with AI is to not use it, unfortunately. I think the only way is to completely cut it out. And I think the only way really to solve this problem with AI and these devices is to try to use them as little as possible. Well, would we go as far as a digital minimalism like Cal Newport? I think that would be great, but it's not practical for a lot of people, I recognize. A lot of people can't just completely get rid of their phone. Of course not. We live in such a dependent world where you might have your work apps on your phone. So you need to use your phone, but ideally you want to find ways of using it that it won't affect you like AI does. But the thing is, when you go to do these things and you try go back to, you could say, driving a manual, it seems very difficult. And I think a lot of people get discouraged by this initial difficulty. It's like, oh, I'm now using AI. Sorry. And I think a lot of people get discouraged by this initial difficulty. It's like you go from driving automatic, you go to manual again, and it seems so hard. You go away from using your laptop to pen and paper. It just seems wrong. And it seems like the ideas won't flow out. And it's like, there's such a pull to go back to your devices. But it's that growing pain that you're experiencing that will allow you to open up the brain processes that will actually allow you to think deeply and to change your life. That's the biggest problem, is that when you try to create a change, initially it sucks. Initially it's very painful. Like any addiction, like any change is painful at first, just because it's a change and you're not used to it, and it physically hurts. Like if you stop using your phone, you physically hurt. People don't say this a lot, but you can feel it. It's not that you're insane. It's a felt experience. But if you give up, if you say, well, it hurts and I don't think I'm getting anything out of it, I'm just going to go back to using my device for everything and everything, you won't ever get over that hurdle that will allow you to change and to mold and to adapt into this new person of you.